There are so many victims.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Fame, fortune, and influence. None of it is enough to outrun justice.
Is there anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to puffy camp?
Hell no.
No matter how powerful, wealthy, or adored they once were, some individuals learn the hard way that the law does not discriminate.
14 counts of child stemming from that infamous tape.
From platinum-selling artists to TV stars and tycoons, their fame couldn't shield them from justice. Some committed crimes so vile, they stunned the world. Others ran from the truth for years, until it finally caught up with them. Brace yourself as we step inside the prison walls and expose the most famous people who are currently rotting in prison. 2025 edition.
Try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners.
I keep everything right here.
For decades, Sean Diddy Combs was more than a mogul. He was a movement. From Bad Boy Records to a billion-dollar brand, he shaped hip-hop and black excellence. But today, the legacy he built is crumbling under allegations too dark to ignore.
This is Drew of the day. You better be good. Hang with me tonight, because we're going to have some fun.
Federal prosecutors say it wasn't just a music empire, it was a front. Between 2004 and 2024, Combs allegedly ran a criminal network hidden in plain sight: trafficking, coercion, abuse, even racketeering. And the most disturbing accusation? So-called freak-offs, multi-day drug-fueled sex parties, secretly recorded and reportedly involving unwilling participants.
I was trying to be real vague about it, but that party traumatized me.
Multiple lawsuits accuse him of threats, forced labor, and violence against those who resisted. His defense claims it was all consensual, but 5 federal charges are now stacked against him. His trial begins in May 2025, and as the walls close in, the industry that once crowned him king now watches as one of its titans teeters toward downfall. He was the sarcastic rebel we all laughed with, Stephen Hyde from That 70s Show. Danny Masterson, born March 13, 1976, charmed his way into our homes with dry wit and effortless cool. But behind the sunglasses and smirk was a secret that would unravel everything. Between 2001 and 2003, multiple women say Masterson sexually assaulted them. For years, their voices were stifled, some alleged by the Church of Scientology, which Masterson belonged to. Victims claim they were stalked, threatened, even silenced. Still, they persisted. In 2023, justice caught up. Masterson was convicted of raping 2 women and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. The courtroom was packed, the verdict heavy. Gone was the sitcom star, replaced by a man convicted of unspeakable acts. Hollywood has long protected its own, but this time it didn't. Masterson's downfall sends a clear message. Fame doesn't make you untouchable. Once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, Elizabeth Holmes was Silicon Valley's golden girl. Born February 3, 1984, she founded Theranos with a dream: run hundreds of lab tests from a single drop of blood. Investors poured in $700 million. By 2014, Forbes crowned her the youngest self-made female billionaire. But the tech was a lie. Theranos' Edison machine couldn't deliver accurate results. Patients were misdiagnosed. Lives were at risk. Holmes didn't just fake science. She faked partnerships with pharma giants and the U.S. military. The unraveling began in 2015, when the Wall Street Journal exposed the fraud. By 2018, Theranos collapsed. Holmes was charged with wire fraud and conspiracy. At her 2021 trial, she blamed others, including her ex and COO, Sunny Balwani. It didn't work. In January 2022, she was convicted on 4 counts. That November, she was sentenced to over 11 years in prison. Holmes went from a tech icon to inmate, leaving behind one of the most infamous scandals in startup history. Born December 25, 1961, into the British elite, Ghislaine Maxwell lived a life wrapped in wealth and influence. The Oxford-educated daughter of media mogul Robert Maxwell, she moved in elite circles, rubbing shoulders with presidents, princes, and billionaires. But behind the high society facade, she enabled one of the most disturbing abuse networks of our time. After her father's death, Maxwell partnered with Jeffrey Epstein, becoming a key figure in his sex trafficking operation. Victims testified she groomed them as teens, offering false promises, then delivering them to Epstein. In December 2021, she was convicted on 5 federal charges. Her trial revealed disturbing details of manipulation and abuse masked by luxury. Now serving 20 years at FCI Tallahassee, Maxwell's conditions have made headlines. Moldy food, medication shortages, even days without meals due to budget cuts. Her 2024 appeal failed, and rumors swirl of a possible presidential pardon from Trump. Her release date, July 17, 2037. But the shadow of Epstein, and the secrets still sealed, linger. Chris Wu once reigned as a global star, former EXO member, solo artist, fashion icon, and Hollywood actor. Born November 6, 1990 in Guangzhou, China, his rise was meteoric, crossing continents and industries. But in July 2021, beauty influencer Du Meizu publicly accused him of raping her while she was intoxicated. Her claims sparked a wave of additional allegations and exposed a disturbing pattern. Wu allegedly targeted young women under false pretenses, often using the promise of auditions or parties. On December 2022, Wu was convicted of rape and group licentiousness, sentenced to 13 years in prison. He was also fined $84 million for tax evasion. In July 2023, a closed-door appeal was denied, confirming his sentence and his eventual deportation after serving time. Wu was swiftly erased from public life. His music vanished from streaming platforms, brands cut ties, and he was permanently banned from Chinese entertainment. His fall became a symbol of a cultural reckoning, one that demanded integrity from its idols. R. Kelly once ruled R&B. With hits like Ignition, Remix, and I Believe I Can Fly, he defined an era.
I believe I can fly.
But behind the music was a carefully constructed facade, masking decades of abuse. Starting in the 1990s, Kelly used his fame to lure underage girls and young women, trapping them in a tightly controlled world. At trial, prosecutors revealed he operated a criminal enterprise. Managers, assistants, and bodyguards all helped him recruit and isolate victims. Survivors described strict rules, calling him daddy, asking permission to eat, even wear certain clothes. Many were cut off from family and made dependent on him. The 2019 docuseries Surviving R. Kelly shattered years of silence.
14 counts of child stemming from that infamous tape in which prosecutors say he stars.
In 2021, Kelly was convicted in New York on 9 counts including racketeering and sex trafficking, earning a 30-year sentence. In 2022, he was convicted in Chicago on child pornography charges, receiving 20 more years, one to be served consecutively. He now faces 31 years in prison. Kelly's appeal was rejected in 2025. Meanwhile, victims seek $9 million in unpaid restitution. For decades, Harvey Weinstein was the gatekeeper of fame. Born March 19, 1952, he co-founded Miramax, producing Oscar-winning films like Shakespeare in Love and Pulp Fiction. With power to make or break careers, he operated with unchecked influence until it all unraveled. In October 2017, the New York Times and the New Yorker published exposés detailing decades of sexual misconduct. Over 80 women, including major stars, accused Weinstein of harassment, assault, and rape. He lured aspiring actresses into hotel rooms under professional pretenses, then used manipulation, threats, and lies to coerce them. Some accounts revealed he hired private firms like Black Cube to silence victims and reporters. Weinstein was arrested in 2018. In 2020, he was convicted in New York of third-degree rape and a criminal sexual act, receiving 23 years in prison. In 2023, a Los Angeles court added another 16 years for additional convictions. He's now serving a total of 39 years. Weinstein's fall ignited the global Me Too movement and shattered the illusion of invincible power in Hollywood. His story isn't just about downfall, it's about the courage of those who broke the silence. Suge Knight once loomed large over hip-hop. As co-founder of Death Row Records, he helped launch legends like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac, blending gangland menace with music empire ambition. But power without restraint breeds downfall. On January 29, 2015, outside Tam's Burgers in Compton, Knight ran over 2 men after a dispute tied to the Straight Outta Compton film. He killed Terry Carter and injured Clee Bone Sloan. Prosecutors said it was deliberate, driven by rage after being excluded from a meeting with Dr. Dre, Knight claimed self-defense. In 2018, he pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter and received 28 years, enhanced by California's 3 strikes law. In March 2025, his appeal was denied. Despite citing health issues and legal setbacks, the judge found his claims unconvincing. Now at R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility, Knight hosts Collect Call, a prison podcast recounting his death row days. From 1992 assaults to the night Tupac was killed, Knight's life has been marked by violence. His legacy? A cautionary tale of hip-hop dominance consumed by the very chaos it once glorified. Shannon Richardson wasn't a household name, just a small-time actress with roles in The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. But in 2013, she became infamous for something far darker, mailing ricin-laced letters to President Obama, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and a gun control advocate. The letters, threatening violence over gun laws, were all part of an elaborate plan to frame her estranged husband. Richardson used his credit card, email, and even planted castor beans in his car to make him look like a domestic terrorist. She tainted his food with ricin and claimed he wrote the letters. But the FBI, using surveillance tech and forensic tracking, quickly uncovered the truth. Pregnant with her 6th child at the time of arrest, Richardson gave birth while in custody. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison, ordered to pay over $367,000 in restitution, and remains under supervised psychological treatment. In 2025, she filed for early release, pending review. Skylar DeLeon once appeared as a child actor on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but his real-life story spiraled into something far darker. By 2004, struggling financially and desperate for wealth, DeLeon masterminded a gruesome plot to murder for money. He and his then-wife Jennifer lured retired couple Tom and Jackie Hawks under the pretense of buying their yacht. During a staged test cruise, DeLeon and 2 accomplices overpowered the couple, forced them to sign over power of attorney, tied them to an anchor, and threw them alive into the Pacific Ocean. Their bodies were never found. The attack was cold, calculated, and motivated purely by greed. DeLeon even brought his infant daughter to the initial meeting to appear trustworthy. In 2009, Skylar DeLeon was convicted and sentenced to death. He now sits on death row at San Quentin, remembered not for childhood fame, but for a crime that stunned the nation with its cruelty. Power, wealth, and fame can open doors, but they can't shield anyone from accountability forever. They believed they could escape the consequences, but in the end, justice prevailed. The law exists for all, and when temptation leads people down the wrong path, they must answer for their choices. But while these criminals serve their time, their victims remain trapped in a different kind of sentence. One with no parole, no reduced sentencing, no chance of escape. Some lost their lives. Others lost their dignity, their futures, their trust in the world. What do you think? Do these sentences fit the crime? Should some of them still be free? Or are there others who should be behind bars but have escaped justice? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the shocking realities of fame, crime, and justice. Until next time, stay informed and remember, no one is above the law.